The Titanic was the largest ship in the world when it was built. It set sail on its maiden voyage on April 10, 1912. The ship departed from Southampton, England, bound for New York City. It was considered unsinkable due to its advanced engineering. People from all walks of life were on board. There were wealthy passengers in first class and immigrants in steerage. The ship was a symbol of hope and progress. Its sinking was a shock to the world. The Titanic was more than just a ship. It represented human ambition and technological achievement. Its tragic end left a lasting impact on maritime history. The ship's significance goes beyond its physical attributes. It was a floating microcosm of society. The events that unfolded would forever change the way we think about safety and preparedness. The Titanic was 882 feet long and 175 feet high. It was the largest moving object ever built by human hands at the time. It had 10 decks and could carry over 2,200 passengers and crew. The ship also boasted some of the most advanced technology of its day. The luxury on board was unparalleled. First-class passengers enjoyed lavish accommodations. There were private suites, a grand staircase, and even a swimming pool. The dining room served gourmet meals prepared by top chefs. The ship also had advanced safety features. It had 16 compartments that could be sealed off in case of a breach. This design led many to believe the Titanic was unsinkable. However, this belief would soon be proven tragically wrong. The Titanic also featured the latest in communication technology. It had a Marconi wireless telegraph system. This allowed for real-time communication with ships and stations. Despite these advancements, the ship was not prepared for the disaster that awaited it. The Titanic was an expensive project. It cost $7.5 million to build, which is about $200 million today. The construction took 3 years and involved thousands of workers. Every detail was meticulously planned to ensure grandeur and luxury. The interiors were designed to resemble those of a grand hotel. First-class cabins had the finest wood paneling and furnishings. The ship also had a gym, a squash court, and Turkish baths. It was a floating palace that catered to the elite. The second-class accommodations were also impressive. They were equivalent to first class on other ships. Even third-class passengers enjoyed better conditions than usual. They had access to dining rooms and shared bathrooms. Despite the cost and luxury, the Titanic had some critical flaws. There were not enough lifeboats for everyone on board. This oversight would prove to be fatal. The belief in the ship's invincibility overshadowed practical safety measures. The Titanic set sail on April 10, 1912. It made stops at Cherbourg, France and Queenstown, Ireland. The weather was calm and the sea was smooth. Passengers settled into their new surroundings, unaware of the doom ahead. The ship received multiple iceberg warnings. These messages were sent via the wireless telegraph. However, they were not given the attention they deserved. The ship continued to sail at full speed. Captain Edward Smith was in command. He was a seasoned mariner with years of experience. Despite the warnings, he did not slow down the ship. The belief in the Titanic's unsinkable nature influenced his decisions. The night of April 14th, 1912 was particularly cold. The sea was calm and visibility was good. Most passengers were asleep when the ship approached the iceberg. The crew was unaware of the imminent danger that lay ahead. Section 5. The moment of impact. At 11:40 p.m. on April 14th, 1912, disaster struck. The lookout spotted an iceberg directly ahead. He rang the warning bell and telephoned the bridge. First Officer William Murdoch ordered the ship to turn hard to port. Despite the efforts, the ship's side scraped against the iceberg. The collision caused a series of punctures below the waterline. Water began flooding the forward compartments. The unthinkable had happened. The Titanic was mortally wounded. The immediate impact was not felt by all passengers. Many were unaware of the severity of the situation. The ship's crew quickly assessed the damage. It became clear that the Titanic would sink. Captain Smith ordered the lifeboats to be prepared. However, There was confusion and chaos. Many passengers did not understand the gravity of the situation. The crew struggled to maintain order as the ship began to descend into the icy waters. Section 6. The sinking, a chain of events. The Titanic's design failed under the pressure of the flooding. The compartments that were supposed to keep it afloat did not work. Water spilled over the tops of the bulkheads. The ship started to tilt forward. Passengers began to realize the danger they were in. Panic set in as people rushed to the lifeboats. There were not enough boats for everyone. Women and children were given priority, but many families were separated. The crew tried to keep order, but chaos reigned. Some lifeboats were launched only half full. Many passengers jumped into the freezing water, hoping to be rescued. The temperature of the water was below freezing, leading to hypothermia. As the bow of the ship sank, the stern lifted out of the water. The Titanic broke apart, creating a horrifying scene. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, the ship disappeared beneath the waves. The once great vessel was now at the bottom of the Atlantic. Section 7. Human cost and lives lost. The sinking of the Titanic resulted in a terrible loss of life. Out of over 2,200 people on board, more than 1,500 perished. The freezing waters of the North Atlantic claimed many lives. The lifeboats, which were launched half empty, could not save everyone. The tragedy affected people from all walks of life. Wealthy businessmen, famous celebrities, and humble immigrants all met the same fate. Families were torn apart, and many stories of heroism and sacrifice emerged. Survivors faced a harrowing ordeal. They spent hours in lifeboats, exposed to the elements. Rescue did not come until the RMS Carpathia arrived hours later. The survivors were taken to New York, where they received medical attention and support. The human cost of the tragedy was immense. The loss was felt worldwide, and many memorials were established. The sinking of the Titanic remains one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. Section 8. Aftermath and maritime safety changes. The sinking of the Titanic led to significant changes in maritime safety. The disaster highlighted the need for better safety measures. One of the most immediate changes was the requirement for sufficient lifeboats for all passengers. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, or SOLAS, was established in 1914. This set new standards for ship safety, including regular lifeboat drills and improved communication systems. Ships were also required to maintain a 24-hour radio watch. The disaster also led to the creation of the International Ice Patrol. This organization monitors and reports iceberg locations to ships. It aims to prevent another tragedy like the Titanic. The lessons learned from the Titanic have saved countless lives. The changes in maritime law and safety practices have made sea travel much safer. The legacy of the Titanic continues to influence modern shipping and safety standards. Section 9. Legacy and enduring fascination. The Titanic has left an indelible mark on history. The story of the ship and its tragic end continues to fascinate people worldwide. Books, movies, and documentaries have kept the memory of the Titanic alive. The wreck of the Titanic was discovered in 1985. This discovery reignited interest in the ship. Expeditions have retrieved artifacts and provided new insights into the disaster. The site is now a protected maritime memorial. The Titanic has become a symbol of human hubris and vulnerability. It serves as a reminder of the limits of technology and the forces of nature. The story of the Titanic is one of ambition, tragedy, and enduring legacy. The fascination with the Titanic endures because it is a human story. It is about dreams and aspirations as well as loss and sorrow. The Titanic continues to captivate our imagination over a century after it sank. Section 10. Conclusion. Lessons from the Titanic. The sinking of the Titanic taught us many lessons. It showed the importance of safety and preparedness. The disaster led to significant changes in maritime law and practices. It reminded us that no ship is truly unsinkable. The human stories of the Titanic are a testament to courage and resilience. The tragedy brought out the best and worst in people. It highlighted the need for compassion and quick thinking in times of crisis. The legacy of the Titanic lives on in the improvements it inspired. Modern ships are safer and better equipped to handle emergencies. The lessons learned from the tragedy continue to save lives today. The Titanic will always be remembered as a symbol of human ambition and vulnerability. Its story reminds us to respect the forces of nature and to value human life above all. The Titanic's legacy is a lasting tribute to those who perished and those who survived.